Hey guys, Books Nelson here, and we're going to be previewing this Eclipse drop. So let's get right into the content. So this is a preview, so obviously until we actually use the cards, we don't know fully how good or bad these cards are. But we can get a pretty good idea by looking at their stats and SIGs, and we're going to get right to it. So we're going to go straight for the pink diamonds and talk about Harold Miner. Guys, I'm going to keep it real. Harold Miner has really good stats for the most part, pretty good badges, but outside of that, he kind of stinks. So and I normally don't really like to judge cards. I like to just kind of let you know what the cards do and judge for yourselves. But to be honest, he just doesn't have a whole lot to work with. Zach LaVine escape, Zach LaVine dribble style, not the best in the game, usable, but definitely not the best. I mean, that escape is kind of tough. The escape is kind of like really wide and long. I don't know what to do with it. If you guys figure out something to do with it, I'd be happy to learn. But this card is not bringing a whole lot to the table. Normal moving step back, absolutely terrible. John Wall hesitation is, I guess, kind of fine. I have to explore and see what can be done with it. I got to really find the diamond in the rough with this card because he really does struggle with quite a lot of things. He's got Jason Tatum hop jumper, which is very good. Normal leaner, which is very good. So as just a pure shoot, dunk, straight line guy, he's okay. But in a reasonably deep position, he is nowhere near good enough. If people did that Easter event and got somebody like a Jaylen Brown who's absolutely elite, or even like Manu Ginobili, way better. There's better cards to be had at the moment of this recording, so we're going to keep it moving. Rui Hachimura, it's kind of a similar story in terms of his function. The difference is I think Rui has a better jumper. Rui's bigger for his position. He's 6'8" at the small forward. He's going to play that position well. 90 speed, fantastic, right? Limitless range, awesome. 92 three-pointer, throw a shoe on that, coach. It's really like a 98, depending on what you do with it. Defensively, he gets every single badge in the game. Let's move over to next gen. Yeah, he gets every single badge defensively. Guys, this is a good card. This is a good card. He's not he can't create for you, but he's a role player, like Rui in real life, right? And he's a good role player. 90s across the board and pretty much everything. We did get a lot of small forwards last season, but I know that everybody wasn't able to get James Worthy, Dennis Rodman, blah, 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 right? So if you weren't able to do that and you are building your team, if you're coming back to my team, Rui is perfectly fine at the backup small forward. And for your starting small forward, if you are in that situation, you definitely want to get LeBron James. Moving forward, Isaiah Thomas. Guys, he's a 5'9" point guard. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this card, but we will say he has absolutely elite SIGs, right? He's got basically elite SIGs across the board. His shot zone very quick. I say this card's probably a lot of fun. He can dunk a little bit. Let's see what that dunk attribute's looking like. Oh, no, never mind. They gave him dunk packages, but no dunk attribute. That's kind of mean. But yeah, Hall of Fame shooting badges if you can get your shot off. So the thing about height in this game, it's going to obviously hurt him defensively. But the other thing is in terms of shot contest. When you're under 6'2", the shot contest system gets really hard on you. It's just the same way as like when you're 6'6" and above, the shot contest is very favorable. 6'3" to 6'5", you're in a fine position. Like you're okay. It's all right. But when people are jumping at you and you're 5'9" in this game, they're contesting your shot, from the locker room. So that's the main problem with Isaiah Thomas. And 2K has to figure something out about these small cards because I don't think he should be unusable. I think he should be fun and he should be good at scoring and bad at defense, and that's totally fine for the people who want to use him. But that said, absolutely elite SIGs. If you want to learn how to dribble, this is a fine card to do it. I do recommend just go ahead and get that Tyrese Maxey. But if you're locking in and you're going to get this card anyway, he's a good card to practice with and maybe a good card to go online and troll and have fun. Steve Nash. I'm actually a little curious about Steve Nash. So 6'3", 6'6". Do I think Steve Nash is going to be a very good point guard? He can't dunk. He's got a 50 driving dunk, and his two hands is off one, right? So he's not a dunker. Let's look at those enemies. He's got Kyrie Irving layup package, which is actually not one of my favorite layup packages in the game. Kyrie plays with the ball a little bit too much to be elite. Trae Young is what you're looking for an elite small layup package. Trae Young or small guards is fine. Even floater specialist is okay. Kyrie Irving, you have to avoid certain animations with Kyrie Irving. I'm not saying it's unusable, but for a guy who can't dunk, who has to get layups, that's the problem, is that he has to go for layups. So you have to, I'm going to actually look into that layup package. Maybe I'll do a gameplay of this card or something. We'll see what we can find because you do have to manipulate that layup package to get the best out of it. Shot on very quick. Leaner Pro 2. Steph Curry dribble style, which is all right. His signature size up. I haven't looked at it. I got to take a look at it. Pro Escape, which could be, I don't know what that is because we can't trust 2KDB. Got a lot of Kyrie Irving sigs. Kyrie Irving's a pretty solid dribbler. Really weird because he got Kyrie Irving sigs, but Steph Curry dribble style. James Harden moving behind the back, which is obviously excellent. Steph Curry moving step back is excellent. So I'm going to say, and so he's got the Larry Bird moving hesitation. So I got to take a look at that. But I don't think Steve Nash is an unusable card in the game. He's a 3 hunter. He's 6'3" with a 6'6" wingspan. Let's look at his defensive attributes. That's going to be really important for this card. So obviously no immovable, but he does have Hall of Fame 94 feet and clamps and Hall of Fame glove and right stick ripper. Guys, if you have Hall of Fame right stick ripper and a 95 steal, you can play defense in this game. So is this a troll Galaxy Opal for the first Galaxy Opals released into the market? When we have insane Galaxy Opals like Ron Artest and LeBron James and Wilt Chamberlain and Hakeem? Yes, obviously. Chet Holmgren? Yes, that's troll. But is this an objectively bad card? I actually don't think so. A lot of people will say so. If you're a Steve Nash fan or if you're struggling at the point guard position, I do not think this is necessarily a bad card. I think you can score with this card. You can get steals with this card. He'll probably get a few stops for you. He's got an 82 strength, 97 speed. He'll probably grab a few stops for you, to be honest with you. I have to look at his SIGs with the final card. I will almost certainly be getting this card because I usually lock in. And we'll talk about the obligation and morality of locking in another video. I do have a video discussing such things. But for now, I will say, actually, for a Steve Nash card, I like this card. I just don't like his place in the current MyTeam community, calendar. But yeah, he's pretty good. Sabonis, another card that I think might be pretty good. So he's got a 93-point shot, 7'1". His character model is at a decent size this year. 92 mid, 93-point shot. Let's look at his badges on current gen. So immovable enforcer, Hall of Fame, outstanding. Post lockdown, rebound chaser. He should definitely, I'll say this guy might be the best available center. Maybe Pink Diamond Wemby is still better because Pink Diamond Wemby is still very, very, very good. Outside of Pink Diamond Wemby, I don't know if there's a center that you can actually go out and get, keeping in mind that Robert Parrish is in the season pass, and we'll look at him when we look at the rewards cards. But this is definitely one of the best centers you can go out and get, if not the very best center you can go out and get. Because even his animations, he's not a dribbler, so we can pretty much ignore all of what's going on here. But if we look, he's got normal leaner, solid, normal hop jumper, which is excellent, right? Lower, and he's got his own shot on very quick. So he's not a dribbler, which is totally fine at center. Every center doesn't need to be, L2 canceling. I think this guy's going to get the job done, and it's probably a reasonable W. And if I was putting MT towards anything today, I would be looking to either get this card I'm hoping for this card out of the, agendas, or I'm going to save that MT and get this card. I'd be totally fine with doing that myself. I'd take a swing on Demonis. I think he's probably solid. All right, so we're going to get to the Galaxy Opals. So here we have Mr. Shawn Kemp, one of my favorite players of all time. I grew up on Shawn Kemp, so I love Shawn Kemp. So with the Opals, with the Opals. I said Opals because we're in Dark Matter world. With the Dark Matters, you're going to get one of these cards, which is why we're going to break them down, right? If you lock in, you're going to get one of them, and you could possibly get it free from the agendas as well. So if they're consistent with how they're doing agendas. So we're going to let it. He has basically every single batch. He doesn't have Dimer. Shawn Kemp is actually a pretty decent passer. That's strange. But yeah, you can give that to him. Cards have such good shooting. You don't need it. I would give him Space Creator as well. Let's go ahead and look at those animations. Now LeBron James layup package. You saw I got caught up right there. LeBron James layup package. That's fantastic. This card's excellent. Kemba Walker escape, and he can play the small forward. If I picked up this card, he almost definitely starts for me. I'm not gonna even sugarcoat that at all. His moving step back is pro, behind the back is pro. That could be Jamal Murray. We have to see exactly what that is. But quite frankly, with Kemba Walker escape and Michael Jordan dribble style, I don't need anything else. He's got Chris Paul moving hesitation, which is awesome. For me, this is a top small forward in the game on paper. I got to see what this jumper looks like in game. Normal leaner, it's fine. James Harden hop jumper, interesting. They gave him James Harden hop jumper. This is a very interesting card. I expect one of the best finishers in the game for sure. he definitely is one of the best finishers just because he has LeBron James's layup package. But then to have all of these on top of it, and when it comes to dunking, he's going to be absolutely top of the top. He's got 99 driving, 99 standing. This is probably one of the most fun cards in the game. And yeah, for those who get this card, congratulations, because I do think that Shawn Kemp is probably going to be very, very, very good. Lot to look forward to with that card. All right. Nick Young. Okay, so if you've used Nick Young, you know that he already had the Jamal Murray behind the back, and he has an excellent jumper. Ben Shepherd base is outstanding, one of the best bases in the game, and he has it on very quick. So he is going to be one of the best cards, if not the best card in the game, at doing that behind the back into the jump shot. And that is the best scoring weapon in 2K when it comes to jump shots. The best two scoring weapons in 2K are stick dunks and the Jamal Murray behind the back into the three-pointer. Those are your two best kill shots in the game, and he has them. He also has De'Aaron Fox signature style, signature size up. Also excellent. Michael Jordan dribble style. Not my favorite, but still a good dribble style. Steph Curry escapes, solid. The rest of his kit is all right. James Harden moving step back is really good. But yeah, and Pro Hezi, which is usually a very good Hezi, again, on 2KDB, doesn't necessarily mean it's literally Pro Hezi. This could just be a placeholder for something that's not showing up. But no, and he's got Kobe leaner. And I don't necessarily love Pro 1 hop jumper. That's fine. He doesn't need to ever do a hop jumper because he's got the behind the back into the jump shot along with great dunking. All right, let's look at these attributes and badges. See what he's doing defensively. People are saying he's better than Ron Artest. Ron Artest is an absolutely off-the-charts elite defender, in addition to having the best SIGs and one of the best jumpers in the game. I'm not putting him above Ron Artest yet. Will he be? And honestly, I think Ron Artest is flawless offensively. I can't figure out something I want to do with Ron Artest that I can't do. So I'm not putting him above Ron, but is he definitely in the conversation for best two guard in the game? Absolutely. Is he most likely top 3? Probably. If I haven't played with Brandon Roy or T-Mac, but if you gave me the option, not playing with any of these 3 cards, which one I would want, I would definitely want Nick Young above all of them. And I'd start Ron and put Nick as my backup and be totally happy with 2 guard probably to the end of the year. So yeah, Nick Young looks really, really great. Nothing alarming with his stats. I'm not going to read all of these stats. They all look pretty good. Not the fastest card by default, not the most athletic card by default. You see that 84 strength, 89 perimeter defense, 90 lateral quickness. So this guy, he is an adequate defender. He's not an elite defender, right? Like we see Rodman out there with that 99 across the board and stuff like that. I actually want to take a quick comparison. Just a quick look at this conversation. But you see all of the green on Ron's side. He's just a better athlete, way better defender, right? The shots are actually pretty even. Ron's at 94 with a shoe. They are literally even with a shoe and a coach. And and badges wise, you see on the defensive side, you're going to see a lot in Ron's favor. Like you see all the plus. Ron's box out beast. I honestly don't even think they're that close as an overall card. I think Nick Young is either equal or maybe slightly better offensively, but Ron is certainly the better defensive card, which makes him the better overall card in my opinion. Derrick Rose. So this is the card that, unless you are a Chicago Bulls fan or a Derrick Rose fan, the card that you want to avoid if you are locking in. But is he actually a bad card? So he's 6'3", but he has a 6'8" wingspan. Now, his character model doesn't look particularly big on the court. I did get the pink diamond Derrick Rose and sell him at some point. Tried him out, didn't love him. Let's see if I would love this one more. So he's got a great signature size up, and now he has Kyrie Irving dribble style. That's fantastic. In fact, let's go ahead and look at in comparison to that pink diamond. I want to see what animations have changed with Mr. Rose. Knicks legend, by the way, Derrick Rose. All right, Knicks legend, Derrick Rose. So dribble style, big upgrade. Kyrie Irving over Trae Young. His size up, got no problem with that. Kemba escape over Kobe escape. Big upgrade right there. Moving crossover from Luka to Pro. Luka's moving crossover is actually very good. We don't know what this Pro crossover is until we actually see it. Moving behind the back from Lillard to Harden. Massive upgrade. Moving step back from Kawhi to Chris Paul. I actually really like Chris Paul's moving step back. It's good for combos. Penny Hardaway moving spin, that's elite. And then John Wall moving hesitation is fine. So, and then the rest of his SIGs are identical except he has his jumper on very quick, which should help a lot. And the finishing is exactly the same, except he's a better standing dunker. We see that there, right? So I'm going to be honest. I don't think this Derrick Rose is a bad card at all. I don't have that prejudice where 6'3" and under cards just can't play, you know. I won't say and under, where 6'3" cards can't play. 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", I think you're genuinely fine. Will you take a hit on size in some matchups? Yes. But if somebody has this card and somebody else is running Dyson Daniels, listen, Dyson Daniels is fine, but give me a card I can go out and get 20, 25 points with. And Dyson Daniels can do that off a catch and shoot, but Derrick Rose can actually get on that rim, create his own jumper, and really work for you. So let me look at a couple more of his shot animations here. So he's got the Pro 2 leaner. My God, this guy, listen, I'll be honest, there might not be a bad lock-in this week. Speaking of bad lock-ins, potentially, let's look at Larry Bird. So he's got quickly base. Quickly's base is fine. And his jumper's on very quick. This should be a fine jumper. So Larry Bird's jumper is a little off-putting because of the way he brings the ball behind his head. But because of the way he brings the ball behind his head, he doesn't load the ball up in front of him, which is actually a positive. People historically have used Larry Bird's upper on certain builds in my career for that reason, because the ball goes behind his head, it's easy to read, and it's hard to get to, right? So I think his jumper will be fine. Pro 2 leaner, absolutely elite. Steph Curry hop jumper. Oh, that's a really good animation for Larry Bird, because you know, as a shooter, he's got a 99 3-pointer, right? We expect that. He's going to be an elite shooter. And I think that Steph Curry hop jumper is actually a big deal, because when you're running towards the mid-range, that Steph Curry hop jumper can actually get you behind the 3-point line. Shout out to Kevin Cruz. Check out his videos covering Steph Curry's hop jumper. But yeah, excellent. Kyrie Irving dribble style. Steve Francis size up. Trey escape. Guys, this card is outstanding. John Wall crossover, best in the game. They did everything in their power to make Larry Bird a truly excellent card. And again, if I locked in and got this card, he probably starts for me. Or at least I give him a shot at starting for me. If this jumper holds up with the Pro 2 leaner and the Steph Curry hop jumper, I'm going to figure out a way to make it work with me and Larry Legend. All right, Kristaps Porzingis, most likely the best center in the game, right? Great jumper, 97 3 ball. Let's look at the badges, see what he's talking about, because that's what's really important. So with a center, you can have like dribbles and like great shooting and all of that stuff, but if you don't grab rebounds and protect that rim, it doesn't matter. Does he do that? So he doesn't have 94 feet, which is fine. Doesn't have ankle braces, doesn't really matter. So every 10 years you're going to get your ankles broken. That's fine. He does have a movable glove chase down, brick wall, Hall of Fame anchor. At 7'3", he should be an excellent rim protector, to be quite honest with you. When we look at the 96 block, outstanding, rebounding, outstanding. Yeah, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be at least in the running for best center in the game. Kobe dribble style. Wow, that's kind of over the top. For everything else he has, you definitely absolutely have to give him handles for days in hyperdrive. If you're going to dribble with him at all, he's going to 100% need these badges to get the current gen. He's going to need these 2 badges. And I would also say, don't be afraid of giving him killer combos either. So killer combos, once you do basically 3 dribble moves, it speeds you up. It speeds up your dribbling. So you're going to want to give that to him as well if you plan on doing any dribbling with Kristaps, especially since he doesn't really need any other badges, right? Giant Slayer is ridiculous because he's 7'3", and he's taller than everyone except for Wemby. So he's not going to activate that basically ever. So you only need to give him playmaking badges, and I would definitely go ahead and give him those 3 to start with, and then whatever you want after that. But yeah, 87 speed, so he's fast, but he's not unreasonably fast. He's going to still be... I actually want to see something. Pardon me real quick, but I just want to look at him athletically compared to a dominant inside center. So, as you guys might know, I got Will off of the lock-in. And so I went up against 100 overall Kareem, and Will just absolutely terrorized that card. And I got to quit. So... before I crown somebody best center in the game, I'm just looking at how dominant Will is. I need to see how dominant Kristaps is, because that's just so important for centers. Because I want to see if Kristaps is as dominant physically. And he really doesn't have to be, to be the best center in the game, because as a shooter, he's going to be so excellent. So yeah, obviously, great card. lock-in gambling card, like super superior as a shooter. Although I do think Wilt's release is really easy to hit, but outstanding as a shooter. Defensively, badge-wise, he looks good, but athletically, he's not on the same level as a Wilt Chamberlain. But yeah, I like that the card looks good. If you get this, it's a W. You have probably at worst the third best center in the game, but arguably the best center in the game. And Jimmy Butler. Okay, I want to talk about this card a little bit. So Jimmy Butler, character model wise, he's not the biggest card in the world because he only has a 6'8" wingspan. So I do like him more at the 2 than the 3. But at that 2 position, I do think he is going to compete with your guys like Ron Artest to some degree. I actually want to look at them defensively side by side before we get into Jimmy's dribbling, because I want to talk about that a little bit. So defensively, Ron looks like a slight step above, and Ron has a pretty nice character model. Jimmy's listed as 230, but Ron looks much heavier in the game. This almost feels like a typo because Ron didn't even play at 223. I think maybe at St. John's he was 223. I don't know. I don't think he was ever 223 in an NBA uniform. But so yeah, Ron has just a little bit better on all defensive stats, but Jimmy is also super duper excellent. I expect them both to be competitively around the same area, very close athletically, and inside. I mean, this doesn't matter, inside scoring. And again, if you play with Ron, he dunks on everybody. And shooting, they're very equivalent. So these are very, very comparable cards, which is good news for people who are locking in this set, because Ron was not particularly easy to get. So if you don't have Ron and you get a shot at Jimmy, you do have a shot at having one of these really good 2 guards. So let's go ahead and look at Jimmy's animations. So I want to compare his animations to his pink diamond, because we want to see how many of his animations he has retained. So, and now we can talk about his animations a little bit. So Jimmy has not gotten any animation changes except for he gets Steph Curry moving step back, which is an upgrade. And I would even say a needed upgrade. He gets up to Michael Jordan dribble style over normal. That's a needed upgrade. Now, outside of that, Jimmy doesn't get any other upgrades from a dribbling perspective, and his only upgrade from a shooting perspective is that he gets the release timing on very quick. Is that bad or good? That is good, because Jimmy has some of the best animations in the game, but you have to learn them. So I'm most likely not going to wind up getting this card, but if you guys want, I can teach you how to use the Jimmy Butler escape. It says pro escape. He has his own escape, his own Jimmy Butler escape. If he still has his own escape and it's the same escape, his escape is harder to use than the other escapes, but it's just as good, right? It's not worse. It's just harder to use because he has a bad animation in there that if you input it wrong, you'll get that bad animation. But outside of that, the rest of Jimmy's dribbles are quite good. Tim Hardaway's combo moves are great. Donovan Mitchell's moving crossover is fine. But the Curry step back with the Michael Jordan dribble style, along with Jimmy's escape, is enough for Jimmy to be good. Now, he has the moving behind the back. We have to see what this pro moving behind the back is in the game, because if this is one of the good ones, then this Jimmy card is definitely, in that top 5 2-guard category. And as a 2-way player, it's going to be super excellent. So that should cover it for all of the Eclipse cards. I think we got everybody. I will say, I don't think there's a flat out bad lock-in in this game. Obviously, some people are going to want some cards more than others, but I don't think you are getting trolled by any of these cards at a glance. Obviously, Larry and Derek have the most potential for trolling because these other 4 cards, I'm like almost certain these are. Like, we know Kristaps is great. We know Jimmy's very, very good. We know Nick Young offensively is going to be one of the best cards in the game. Sean Kemp looks outstanding. So we have to see how these 2 cards play. But if these 2 cards are good, then this is, if you are locking in, which again, this video is not about whether or not you should or should lock in. But for the people that are, since that's the only thing you can do with your MT, is either lock in or pro packs or both, these 2 cards might actually also be good. All right, so that's it for our breakdown, guys. Thanks for rocking with me. Please like and subscribe. As always, I am extraordinarily overwhelmed and thankful for your support and the massive engagement in the comment sections. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.